Okay, welcome all of you. Am I audible? Am I audible? Can you hear me? All of you? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. The
Yes,
voice
sir.
is too low.
Is this slide visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Welcome all of you. The first session of today's lecture, and we discuss about today. We'd like to discuss about the 8086 assembly directives. So right now you have already familiar with the instructions, different type of instructions and the programming methods of 8086, which is called assembly language programming. So basically, why you need to learn the 8086 assembler directives? Assembler directives. So first, what is assembler? What is assembler? Now, an assembler is a program used to convert an assembly language program into equivalent machine language. Okay, and the assembler finds the address of each label and substitutes the value for each of the constants and variables in the assembly language program during the assembly language execution, instruction execution. Okay, to generate the machine codes. So basically, an assembler is a program used to convert an assembly language program into the equivalent machine code modules, which may further be converted to executable codes. Okay, executable codes. And here one thing you have to remember, that the main advantage of having this machine language programming is that the memory control is directly in the hands of the programmer, and enabling him or her to manage the memory of the system more efficiently. Okay, so assembler basically decides the address of each label and substitutes the values for each of the constants and variables. It then forms the machine code for the mnemonics and data in the assembly language program. Now, while doing these things, the assembler may find out syntax errors. Okay, syntax errors. The logical errors or other programming errors are not found out by the assembler. For completing all these tasks, an assembler needs some hints from the programmer. Okay, some language or some codes, that is the required storage for a particular constant or a variable, or some logical names of the segments, type of the different routines and modules, end of file, etc. These are required. Now these type of hints are given to the assembler using some predefined alphabetical strings called assembler directives. Okay, assembler directives, which help the assembler to correctly understand the assembly language programs to prepare the machine codes. Prepare the machine codes. Another type of hint which helps the assembler is to assign a particular constant with a label, or initialize particular memory locations or labels with constant is an operator. Okay, so in fact, the operators perform the arithmetic and logical tasks, unlike directives that just direct the assembler to correctly interpret the program to code it appropriately. Now, there are different comments are available, different hints are available. So we will discuss the different directives, or so different hints those are required for the assembler to convert assembly language into machine code. Okay, so now we'll discuss one by one. So the first is assembler directive for variables or constant definition. Okay, as constant definition. Now the first is define byte. Okay, db here, db means define byte, dw means define word, dd means define double word. So define byte means 8 bit of data can be defined, as for example, like here in this case, data 1 db 20h. So 20, the size of this data bit is 8 bit. Okay, so reserve 1 byte for storing data 1 and assign the value 20h to it. So basically, these db, dw, dd, dq, and dt, these are the assembler directives are used to give a name or variable. Actually, it is used to reserve byte or bytes of memory locations in the available memory. Now, while preparing the execution file, this directive directs the assembler to allocate the specified number of memory bytes to the set data type. That may be a constant, may be a variable, may be a string, etc. Now, another option of this directive also initialize the reserved memory bytes with ASCII code of the character specified as a string. Okay, these are the examples. Now, first, I will tell you what is DD means, double word, define double word. Define double word means more than 16 bit, means 32 bit. So define byte means 8 bit of data can be defined. Define word means 16 bit of data, and define double word means 32 bit of data. Define quad word means uh, define quad word means 64 bit of data. And dt means define 10 bytes, so 10 bytes of data can be defined. Okay, and these are the examples. Like db can be given in this way: data 1 db 20. The meaning of this assembler directive is reserve 1 byte for storing data 1 and assign the value 20h to it. Array 1 db 10 comma 20 30. So reserve 3 bytes of storing array 1 for 10, 20, and 30. Like ASCII code can be used, like CT, which is defined by this Madurai. Okay, it's this is a so the ASCII code of the character specified within double quoted are stored under the array of list name CT. Okay, so it is a ASCII code which can be executed by the assembler. Data 2, suppose it is given as DW1020. So 1020, it's a 16 bit of data which is called the defined word. Okay, defined word. Word means 16 bit of data. The same way, array 2, which is required to initialize define word, 1030, 2000, 3000, 4000. So reserve 4 words for storing. That means consecutive certain locations are reserved for storing this 1030, 2000, 3000, and 4000 uh, double word data byte. Next is the equivalent or equate. So this is actually used to assign a value to a data name. Okay, to a data name or a symbol with a value or a symbol. The use of this directive is just to reduce the recurrence of the numerical values or constants in program code. Okay, like example is okay. Example is number equal 50. So number is equivalent to 50. So assign the value 50 to number, or name equivalent or equate to Ramesh. So assign the string Ramesh to name. So these are the assembler directives for equate or equivalent. Now the recurring value is assigned with a label, and that label is used in place of that numerical value throughout the program. So you don't need to write every time that 50h 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 to operate certain instructions. So that can be given by number also. Okay, so first 50h is initialized. Suppose move a comma 50, move x comma 50h. Then you can write it as move dx comma number, you can give it. Okay, so because 50 is equivalent to the number. Okay, you don't need to write every time just 50 50 50. Now while assembling, whenever the assembler comes across this level, it substitutes the numerical value for that level and finds out the equivalent code. Now, using this equate or equivalent directive, even an instruction mnemonic can be assigned with a label, which can then be used in your program in place of the mnemonics. Another example is a numerical constant which appears in a program 10 times, suppose. If that constant is to be changed at a later time, one will have to make the correction 10 times. This may lead to human errors because it is possible that human programmer may miss one of those corrections. So now if you'd like to correct 10 times certain constant value, you need to change it 10 times. Maybe it may be 9 times or maybe 11 times. Okay, so to minimize this type of error, what happened, if the equal or equivalent directive is used to assign the value with a label that can be used in place of each recurrence of that constant, only one change in the equate statement will give the correct and modified code. Okay, uh, so that's why this equivalent or equate uh, directive is used. The next is, which is related to the uh, program location or code location. Program location, assembler directives, some assembler directives are available in for program location. Okay, and so according to this type of application, the first is the origin or originate. Okay, org. So what happened, org is used, origin is used. The origin directive actually directs the assembler to start the memory location for the particular segment, block, or code from the declare address in the org statement. Now while uh, starting the assembly process for a module, the assembler initializes the location counter to keep track of the allotted address for the module. Now if the origin statement is not written in the program, the location counter is initialized to 0000. So microprocessor automatically, so assembler, what happened, if it is not given that your program location is started from this memory location, suppose 2000 memory location or 4000 memory location, it is given in the program that org 2000h. That means your program must be started from execution must be started from 2000h memory location. Okay, within a particular segment. If you have used the code segment, then you need to write it as code segment org 2000 code segment. Then whatever your instructions will be written, it will be executed. Okay, but if org 2000 is not given and if you have missed this org, then automatically assembler takes the value of that particular segment from the initial locations, because each segment is your 64 kilobytes long. Okay, whether it's a code segment or data segment or stack segment or extra segment. So the segment, it is the starting address of any segment address is started from 0000 to FFFF. That is the maximum range, which is 64 kilobytes. So automatically assembler takes the value as 0000, and the starting location will be treated as 0000, and it will be started to execute the instructions one by one. Okay. So it is mandatory to give the ORG directive before executing any segment memory location. Okay. The next is the even directive, which is again for a program location, now. Actually, it is align. It is called even directive is align on even memory address. It is called align on even memory address. So the assembler, what happened if it is used? The assembler, while starting the assembling procedure of any program, initializes a location counter and goes on updating it. It will be incremented. Okay, as the assembly proceeds. It goes on assigning the available addresses, that is the content of the location counter, sequentially to the program variables. Okay, constants and modules as per their requirements in the sequence in which they appear in the program. Now the even directive updates the location counter to the next even address. If the current location counter contents are not even, and assigns the uh, any other address, then this will not be executable, because every time this even directive always updates the next even address. Okay, like in this case here, even even array 2 array 2 dw20 duplicate 0. The web statement in a segment declares an array named array 2, okay, having 20 words to start from an even address. The advantage of storing an array of words from an even address is that the 86 takes just one memory read or write cycle to read or write the entire word if the word is stored from an even address. Otherwise, 86 takes two memory read or write positions if it is in odd address. Okay, so if it is in even address, no problem. It will be updating the even address by one every time. But if it is in odd address, like 8086 has two banks, even bank and odd bank. Okay, so even addresses are stored in even bank, odd addresses are stored in odd bank, like 0000, the first address which is stored in even bank. 0001, that is stored in odd bank. 0002, that is also in even bank, and 00003, it is stored in odd bank. So in this way, the memory locations are divided into two banks, even bank and odd bank. So every time when even directive is used, that means the even addresses will be updated one by one, and it will be incrementing order. So if it is there, then only one cycle is required to either read or write the operation. But if even is used, but the address is not, but the data byte which is stored inside any memory bank is not in even bank, that is stored in odd bank. So odd bank should not be incremented by one, and if it is incremented by one, then it microprocessor needs two machine cycles. Okay, two machine cycles to read or write the operation. The next directive is the length. Okay, a byte length of a label. Okay, why? What is the use of this? This directive is not. It is used to determine the length of a data array or a string. Okay, It is not included in any simulator actually, MASM simulator. So it is used where or refer to the length of a data array or a string. Okay, move cx comma length array. This statement when assembled will substitute the length of the array in bytes in the instruction. Okay, like move cx comma length array. What is this? Cx is loaded with the number of bytes in the array. Okay, that is the use of length. Another directive is called the offset of label. So when the assembler comes across the offset operator along with a label, it first computes the 16-bit displacement of the particular label and it replaces the string offset label by the computed uh, displacement. This operator is used with arrays, strings, labels, and procedures to decide their offsets in their default segments. And the segment may also be decided by another operator of similar type, like SEG, segment operator is used, segment directive is used, SEG. Now, its most common use is in the case of the indirect or indexed or based index or other addressing techniques of similar type. Okay, used to refer to the memory indirectly. Where memory indirectly is referred, uh, in that case the offset directive is used, like move bx comma offset table. If the data item named table is present in data item in a segment containing sorry, if the data item name table is present in data segment, then this segment will replace the offset address of table in the data segment which is in bx register. So it will be replace the offset address with the table and it stores into the bx register. So that is the function of offset directive. So and next directive is called label. It is called the label. So the label directive is used to assign a name to the current content of the location counter. Location counter. So when the assembly process starts, the assembler initializes a location counter to keep track of memory location assigned to the program. Okay, as the program assembly proceeds, it is going on in incremental order. The contents of the location counters are updated by one. Now, during the assembly process, whenever the assembler comes across this label directive, it assigns the declared label with the current contents of the location counter. Okay, and the type of the label must be specified, that is whether it's a near or a far label, byte or word label, etc. Okay. Now a label directive may be used to make a far jump, or a far jump cannot be made at a normal label with a colon, and the label continue can be used for a far jump if the program contains this type of statement. Repeat label near, calculate label far. So here label can also be used to specify data item. When the label is used to specify data item, the type of the data item must be specified. The data may have the type as byte or as word, as word. Okay, so basically all of you have used the label in your microservice lab. What is it? It is the target address. It's the name. Either that can be a far label or can be a near label. Okay, so it is based on the jump instruction execution. Okay, So if your jump address is within a limit, it is called the near jump, okay, or the label called near. And if the jump address is within not that limit, it is forward jump to a specific memory location, which is not within that limit. It is called the far jump, okay. So, or it is called the far label. So label can be used in this way, or it is given to the assembler. Next is for segment declaration. Any segment can be declared, like here, uh, to start any segment you have to initialize it uh, as per the assembler requirement. Now if you would like to start a segment, you must use this segment directive. How? You can write it as code 1 segment. You can give the name of that segment, any name, but that should be your first letter of your segment name must be alphabet, okay, must be alphabet. And next is the alphanumeric, any type. It can be data, you can give it as data segment, or it can be give your name also, okay. So if it is started like code 1 segment, so code 1 is your name, and you have to write the instructions here one by one. Then you have to write code 1 ends. If you have to end your segment, that your execution will be up to that much, you have to write the end segment directive using end s. So if one segment is started, you have to end that segment, and the starting of segment can be written in this way, and ending of that segment can be written in this way, okay. And within this uh, initialization of segment and the ending of segment, within these two directives, there must be certain instructions, okay, which will be executed. uh, then next is the assume directive. Okay, the assume directive, basically it is used to inform the assembler the names of the logical segments to be assumed for different segments used in the program. In what I mean in assembly language program, each segment is given a name. For example, the code segment may be given the name code, like in this case, code, or maybe data, okay. Data segment may be given as data, etc. Now the statement assume cs is to code 1, or ds is to data 1. This type of directs the assembler that the machine codes are available in a segment named code 1, and hence the cs register is to be loaded with the address, segment address allotted by the operating system for the label code 1 while loading. Similarly, if assume ds is to ds colon data 1 is written in this way. Assume ds colon data 1. What happened? It indicates to the assembler that the uh, data items related to the program are available in a logical segment whose name is data 1, and the ds register is to be initialized by the segment address value decided by the operating system for the data segment, okay. Mm, while loading. Now it then considers the segment data 1 as a default data segment for each memory operation related to the data, and the segment code 1 as a source segment for the machine codes of the program. Okay. Now the assumed statement is a must at a starting of each assembly language program, without which a message, code or data emitted without segment may be issued by an assembler. Okay, one message will be shown as code or data emitted without segment. Code or data emitted without segment. This message will be shown on your display. Okay, it is not identified which segment you have used to process, to execute it. Okay. So you need to give a command to the assembler. Then the next segment, next assembler directive is your group. Okay, for segment declaration. Next is segment declaration. So this directive actually it is used to form logical groups of segments with similar purpose or same type of functions. Now this directive is used to inform the assembler to form a logical group of the uh, of different segment names. Okay. Now, what happens? The assembler passes this an information to the linker or loader to form the code such that the group declared segments or operands must lie within a 64 kilobytes of memory segment, because each segment is of 64 kilobytes. Okay, like what is written here is given as program 1. As look at this example, program 1, group code 1, data 1, stack 1. Okay, program 1, group code 1, data 1, stack 1. Now this statement actually directs the loader or linker to prepare an execution file, exe file, such that the code 1, data 1 and stack 1 segment must lie within 64 kilobytes of memory segment, that is named as program 1. Now for the assume statement, what happened? Now one can use the label as program 1 rather than code 1, data 1 and stack 1. Okay, how? Like in this example, assume CS is to program 1, DS is to data program 1, SS is to program 1. Okay, so this is one kind of group which is used by the program 1. It is assumed by the assume directory, which I have discussed earlier. What is the use of assume directory? Okay. The next is the segment operator, SEG, seg operator. Okay. So segment of a label, this seg operator, SEG operator, is used to decide the segment address of the label or variable or any procedure, and substitutes the segment base address in place of SEG label. Okay, like example as here move ax comma ACG seg array 1, or move ds comma ax. What happened in the first example where move ax comma seg array 1, this statement moves the segment address of array 1 in which it is appearing. It must be to register ax, and then it copies it from the ax to ds. Okay, so segment will be initialized in this way using the seg operator. Okay.
कंप्यूटर
Clear? Do you have any confusion? Do you have any confusion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
না স্যার বলছি যে অফসেটটা একবার বুঝিয়ে দিন স্যার।
Offset?
অফসেটটা বুঝিয়ে দিন স্যার।
Okay. So offset basically, so when the assembler comes across this offset directive along with a label, it first computes the 16-bit displacement, also called an offset interchangeably of the particular label, and replaces the string offset label by the computed displacement. Now, this operator is used with array string labels and procedures to decide their offsets in their default segments. Okay, and the example is here. It is given like move bx comma offset table. Now, if the data item named table is present in data segment, then this statement will place the offset address of that table in the data segment. Okay, so this, if the data item named table, suppose any data which is named as table, it is present into the corresponding offset address. Okay, so in spite of that data byte or the name of that data byte, directly where this data byte is situated, the offset address will be replaced here, will be placed here, and this will be stored inside bx register as your offset register or offset address. Okay, so you don't need to give the address directly. Okay, if you have name of that particular data byte which is stored in some offset address and it is named as suppose here table is there given, so that should be used by this bx registers to hold the offset of that particular data byte whose name is table. Okay, so
Yes,
is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
where we go in the field, wash
Akash,
me
Akash,
with the sky.
silence. Don't talk. Okay. Do you have any other queries or doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. If you don't have any queries or doubts, so I will end my meeting. So that's all for today. Okay. So see you on next week on Monday.